You are sitting in a room filled with laughter, but you are not really there. While others are intoxicated by the fragrance of the blooming rose, you are already smelling the rot. This is the curse of foresight, the heavy price of a mind that refuses to blink or look away. For most people, the present is a solid floor they can stand on with absolute confidence. For you, the present is a thin sheet of ice cracking over a dark and bottomless ocean of time. Your brain is a supercomputer that never sleeps, constantly running simulations of what comes next. You don't just see a beautiful sunset, you see the inevitable darkness that must follow it. You don't just see a new relationship, you see the eventual silence and the inevitable goodbye. This is called predictive grief, and it is the shadow that haunts the highly intelligent mind. It is the inability to enjoy a moment because your brain has already simulated its total decay. You are mourning things that haven't even happened yet because you know they are certain.
Pattern recognition is usually praised as a gift, a tool for success and strategic survival.
But when that tool is turned inward, it becomes a weapon that carves the joy out of your chest. You see the subtle shift in a friend's voice, and you know the friendship is already over. You see the tiny crack in the foundation, and you know the house is destined to fall eventually. Others call you a pessimist, but you know that you are simply a realist with a faster processor. The tragedy of foresight is that you are living in a future that hasn't arrived while missing the now. You are a ghost in your own life, haunting the hallways of a tomorrow that is often cold and lonely. Why is it that the more we understand the world, the less we seem to be able to enjoy our place in it?
The answer lies in the biological machinery of the hyper-aware and hypersensitive psyche.
Your nervous system is tuned to a frequency that picks up the vibrations of coming storms. While the sheep graze in the sunlight, the wolf sees the clouds gathering on the far horizon. You cannot turn it off because your survival once depended on knowing exactly what was coming. But in the modern world, this survival mechanism has become a prison of constant anticipation. Every beginning is tainted by your knowledge of the ending. Every hello is a whispered goodbye. You walk through a crowded city and see not the people, but the skeletons they will become. This is not a choice you make. It is a filter through which your consciousness must pass. Predictive grief is the tax you pay for the ability to connect the dots before they are even drawn. It makes you feel alienated, like a traveler from another time stuck in a primitive present. You watch people celebrate temporary victories, and you wonder how they can be so blind to the cost. You see the debt that must be paid for every moment of pleasure, and the bill looks too high. This creates a profound sense of isolation that no amount of social interaction can truly heal. I am sad because I understand that all joy is temporary, and the thought that your happiness will eventually end brings me sorrow. They would call you crazy, or worse, they would call you a bringer of bad omens and dark thoughts. So you learn to stay silent, to wear a mask of normalcy while your mind calculates the decay. You become a master of the fake smile, a professional at nodding along to shallow conversations. Inside, you are screaming at the sheer fragility of everything that everyone takes for granted. The curse of foresight is a lonely road, paved with the memories of things that haven't died yet. But there is a strange power in this darkness, a perspective that others will never understand. When you accept that everything is already broken, you stop fearing the sound of the glass shattering. There is a liberation in knowing the worst-case scenario, because it can no longer surprise you. The man who sees the end of the world does not panic when the first earthquake finally hits. He has been living in the ruins for years, while everyone else was busy building sandcastles. To survive this curse, you must learn to practice a very specific kind of dark stoicism. You must learn to love the rose precisely because it is rotting, not in spite of its decay. The beauty is in the transience, in the very fact that it will not and cannot last forever. If the moment were eternal, it would be a museum piece, cold and dead and without any pulse. Because it is dying, it is alive. Because it is ending, it has a meaning that is profound. Your foresight is not a mistake of nature. It is a deep realization of the truth of existence. The universe is a process of constant becoming and constant fading, a dance of shadows. You are simply one of the few who can see the choreography of the entire performance at once. Instead of fighting the simulations, you must learn to observe them without becoming them. You are the screen, not the movie. You are the sky, not the storm that passes through it. Predictive grief only hurts when you try to cling to the things that your mind knows are slipping. Let go of the attachment to the outcome, and you will find a strange peace in the middle of the fire. You can watch the house burn and still appreciate the warmth of the flames while they last. This is the path of the Psychumbra, to look into the abyss and find the light hidden in its depths. You are not broken because you see the end. You are simply more awake than the rest of the world. The burden of high intelligence is the weight of the truth, and the truth is often heavy. But once you learn to carry it, you become stronger than those who live in comfortable delusions. You no longer need the lies of the present to feel secure in your own skin and your own mind. You are the architect of your own internal landscape, building something that time cannot touch. Even when the external world fails to meet your expectations, your internal world remains solid. Stop apologizing for your foresight and start using it as a shield against the trivialities of life. Most of what people worry about is irrelevant to the grand timeline that you see so clearly. Use your pattern recognition to filter out the noise and focus only on what truly matters. In a world of plastic and neon, find the things that are ancient, raw, and fundamentally true. The curse becomes a gift when you stop using it to mourn and start using it to choose. Choose the moments that are worth the grief they will eventually cause you in the future. Choose the people whose presence is so valuable that the inevitable loss is a price worth paying. This is how you reclaim your life from the simulations and the shadows of your own mind. You are the master of the timeline, the one who sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. Don't let the end steal the beginning. Let the end give the beginning its weight and its worth. The present is a ghost town only if you refuse to live among the spirits of what is to come. Embrace the predictive grief as a form of honesty, a way of being true to the nature of reality. The world is fragile, yes, but there is a magnificent glory in that very fragility if you look. Your brain is not your enemy. It is simply trying to prepare you for a world that is always changing. Thank your mind for the warning, and then decide to step into the moment anyway, fully aware. There is a courage in loving what you know you will lose that the ignorant can never possess. That courage is the mark of the lone wolf, the thinker, the one who walks the path of the shadow. You are not alone in this feeling, even if it feels like you are the only one who can see the cracks. There are others like you, watching the same patterns, feeling the same weight of the future. We are the ones who stand on the edge of the world and watch the tides come in and go out. We don't need the sun to be happy. We have learned to find our way by the light of the moon. The curse of foresight is only a curse if you believe that the end is the only thing that matters. But the journey is the only thing we ever really have, even if we know exactly where it leads. So look at the rose again, and this time see the rot and the bloom as one single beautiful thing. See the laughter and the silence as two sides of the same coin, inseparable and necessary. Your intelligence is a lantern in a dark forest. It shows you the pits and the predators ahead. But it also shows you the beauty of the trees and the intricate patterns of the leaves on the ground. Don't drop the lantern just because you don't like what it reveals in the distance of the trail. Hold it high, walk forward, and realize that the future is just another name for the present's shadow. You are the observer, the witness to the grand unfolding of a universe that is both cruel and kind. In the silence of your foresight, find the strength to be still while the rest of the world rushes.
You don't have to keep up with them. You are already where they are going to end up anyway.
This perspective is your edge, your advantage, and your sanctuary in a chaotic and loud world. When the world finally catches up to your predictions, you will be the only one who is not afraid. You will be the one who already mourned, already processed, and already found the way through. Predictive grief is just the preparation for a life lived without the shock of sudden tragedy. It is the armor you wear so that when the blow finally lands, you are still standing tall. The hyperactive mind is a heavy burden, but it is also a vessel for a much deeper kind of peace. It is the peace of the mountain that knows the winter is coming, but does not fear the snow. It is the peace of the ocean that knows the storm is brewing, but remains deep and still below. You are that mountain. You are that ocean. You are the mind that sees and still chooses to be.
Let the patterns emerge, let the simulations run, and then return to the breath in your lungs.
The present is all there is, even if it is a present that contains the seeds of its own end. Eat the fruit, drink the wine, and love the person in front of you with the intensity of a dying sun. Because you know the end, you can truly appreciate the middle in a way the blind never will. This is the paradox of the Psychumbra. The darkness is what makes the light visible and precious. Without the foresight of the end, the present would be a hollow and meaningless distraction. With it, every second becomes a diamond, compressed by the weight of all the years to come. You are not cursed. You are refined by the pressure of your own awareness of the timeline. Wear your intelligence like a crown of thorns, knowing that it brings both pain and sovereignty. You see the truth, and the truth has set you free from the delusions of the mindless crowd. Walk with your head held high through the ruins of the future you have already seen in your mind. There is a quiet dignity in being the one who knows, the one who watches, and the one who remains. The curse of foresight is only the beginning of a much larger journey into the heart of the shadow. Welcome to the Psychumbra, where we look at the things that others are too afraid to even imagine. In the end, you will realize that you didn't lose the present. You simply found a deeper version of it. Embrace the decay, for in the shadow of the end, the light is finally real and truly yours.